Howdy homies, welcome back to Dummy TCG. It's your boy Sid coming at you with some flesh and blood news hot off the website. We're going into August 2021 now to kind of date this video, but I think it's important because this is the beginning of a new era, I feel like, for the game. Legend Story Studios just announced today that in 2022 they will be offering up 1 million United States dollars in prizes spread out over the year next year. So these are going to be in very high competitive, rules enforced, like probably not so much in-store play. Like this is going to be stuff at convention centers, a lot of it by invite only. They're talking about, so what I've seen so far is there's $700,000 that they've explained so far is going to go between the Pro Tour, all the callings next year. There's going to be like 30 callings worldwide next year. That's going to account for 300,000 of like almost 1/3 of the million. And then besides that, you'll have the Pro Tour with $200,000 in prizes, and the National Championships, which I'm guessing is going to spread out, the other 200,000. And then I'm guessing that that'll leave the remaining like 300,000 going into the World Championships. So what does this mean for Flesh and Blood? What does this mean for you and me, the regular Joe Schmoes out here grinding the armories, out here playing in the skirmishes? I think at like the store level, this isn't going to affect too much. To be honest, I think it's going to be still the same people you're going to see in the store. It's not going to be a lot of grinders, not a lot of sweat happening at the store level. However, I feel like this is going to bring out a lot of sweaty motherfuckers at the competitive level. You're going to see a lot of people coming from, Magic the Gathering. They dismantled their professional play systems, so you can't play Magic the Gathering professionally anymore. They're getting rid of that. I think for now you still can, but they're talking about like next year, that's gone. Because, they didn't do it all of 2020 and posted record profits, so why should they continue to host these events at a loss, probably? And that makes sense from a cynical, like greedy ass corporate standpoint. It makes sense. So that's fine. You're gonna see World Poker Tour, those kind of guys. They're gonna want to like get in on this pro gaming. You're gonna see a lot of sweaty pro gamer type dudes and dudettes showing up wanting to win this prize money. I think this is a good thing for the game, honestly, because right now there's not a lot of difference, honestly, between like the people you play with at the store level and the people you play with at like, so Road to National season just started this past weekend here in the United States, and just here in the Colorado scene, I'm noticing that like there's no new people like coming out of the woodwork to do these Road to National tournaments. It's the same old crowd that's always been around. People are driving. People are coming down from Colorado Springs to play at shit like up in Denver. People are going to be driving down to the Springs to play in that. So, traveling is a thing. Like people are on their grind for sure, but it's not like you're not seeing anybody that you wouldn't like already see at your armory event showing up to these things like for a spot in the national tournaments, and or people that are just like, I remember in Magic when you would go to these like competitive tournaments, you'd see all these guys that just like to grind online. They would play like shit tons of MTGO, and Arena wasn't around back then, but they would be online and they would only show up to these paper events to really like have their chance to play on the Pro Tour, or another thing people wanted to qualify for a lot was like states back then. People would show up, you'd have to play in person, even though you were like mostly an online gamer. Not that I think that there's like this huge community of people that only play online. I'm sure there is, like people that only play competitively on Tabletop Simulator because it doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. But it's not like you can play like a competitive deck on Tabletop Simulator, but there's no stakes. So I think probably like it's a great place to kind of like cut your teeth and learn how to play the game, but it's not like a huge competitive scene. It's probably still mostly casual, mostly like people learning to play. But you're not gonna see like in this Road to National season like a lot of people that you don't normally see at the shop already showing up to these things. At least I don't think so. At least that's not how it is here in Colorado. If you're seeing new heads showing up at these Road to National events, where are they coming from? Please let me know in the comments. Like, if there's new players that are not like playing in these casual events like Skirmish and Armory and stuff like that, but they're showing up for these competitive events, I want to know who these people are. Where do they come from? Why are they here? I'm going to say in the future we're going to be seeing a lot more of these kind of people come into the game. And it's going to be a good thing for the game. And it's really going to be a good thing for these guys that are like, they're not new to the game. They've been playing, maybe even competitively or maybe just casually, but since like Alpha, Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, anything pre-Monarch. I think that the game really... maybe it's just me speaking from my own perspective because I started around the time of Monarch, but I feel like the game has been like exponentially growing like since Monarch came out. At least that's what I've perceived and what I've been told. It's hard to really say what it was like before I came around. I'll have to go off as hearsay. But this is going to lead to another growth. There are going to be some downsides. I think with stakes this high, you're going to see a lot of salt emerging in the community, which there's not a lot right now. Like, the cool thing about Flesh and Blood is, like, there's no really non-games of it. Like, you can get housed. You can get steamrolled. I have. Like, I've had some games that weren't even close, especially in Blitz. Like, when you're playing as the wizard and shit, it can be, like, so bursty. You can either get squashed like a bug or, like, melt their face on turn 2, and it just feels like no big deal, right? There's gonna be stuff like that still in the game, and I think the salt's gonna be magnified with higher stakes. Because right now the community, I feel, is overwhelmingly positive. A lot of people are still learning the game, so they're willing to take these losses more graciously, because like every loss, every failure to like a real successful person is just an opportunity. Sometimes they're as great of opportunities as successes are, from what you can learn and how you can grow. But when you're paying, like you're taking off, you're traveling, you want to do well in these events, and when you don't, it just hurts extra hard, man. So be careful, be good to yourself mental health wise. If you're getting too salty, remember at the end of the day it's just a game. But I would say that with a new breed of player, things are going to change, somewhat for the better, somewhat for the worse. I'm really interested in seeing how this goes, man. I really am. Like, this is a huge announcement for the game. For casual and competitive players alike, but especially competitive players. So yeah, let me know what you think about organized play coming up in 2022. Is it time to get good? I think so. I'm going to start playing competitively. Like, I haven't up until now. But after hearing this announcement, I am energized to get out there and grind. So if you're the same, holler at me. Let's play a test. Until then, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.